Number 1, learn how to use your calculator. I'm not saying that you're a baby and don't know how to mash some plastic buttons, alright? It's actually a lot deeper than you might think. Learning this tip is literally what fixed all of my silly mistakes. By the way, I'm talking about these scientific calculators, not these office ones that have got like case or all buttons. So if you don't have one, I recommend go getting one. Alright, so like for example, this is my calculator. If I do something like, I don't know, something possible equation, like right here, and then I can just solve it because I have a function on my calculator that does that. So that's quite impressive, and it'd be quite useful in the exam. And also, there's functions that solve quadratics, for example, so it literally solves it for you. Like, this is literally OP. I don't know why no one else is using this. The best way to use this is to check your answers using these functions. Don't just rely on your calculator. Examiners are like gurus, alright? They focus really heavily on working. I remember writing a proof on one of my maths exams and it being completely correct, but I lost the mark because I didn't prove it the way they wanted to. So I still suggest doing the question properly before working. Then use your calculator to check, and if you get different results, then you messed up, because I know the calculator ain't gonna make any mistakes, alright? Hi guys, welcome to Microsoft Paint. So, let's say the question asks you to make x a subject in something like 2x equals y, right? So we divide 2 on both sides and we get x equals to 1/2 y, and this is our answer. How do I check it? Well, let's just say x equals to 1, so that my calculator can understand it. So then, using my calculator, I can figure out that y equals 2. And then I can say, okay, if x equals to 1 on my answer, and y equals to 2 on my answer, I get 1 equals 1, which means I did a good job, right? So, happy days, happy days. Do you see what I'm putting down here? Your calculator is literally a foolproof way to check your answers. It's marks that others throw away and you reclaim. That being said, you still gotta learn how to do the questions, but this is a great way to make sure that you don't make any silly mistakes. But I know what you're saying. I can't even do the question. Don't worry, bro, I got you covered. Number 2, intuition versus knowledge. If you can't do a question, it's most likely due to one of two reasons. Is it A, you haven't revised properly and just don't know the answer? Or B, you know the material, but you just stare at the question asking, what the freak am I supposed to do? If you're part of category A, you just gotta lock in and revise, like I can't help you out. But if you're part of category B, which I feel like is more common, you lack intuition. People think intuition is talent, it's not. Think of it like this, there are two types of questions. Knowledge questions, which test recall, and intuition questions, which test pattern recognition. People can do knowledge questions, but it's harder to do intuition questions. And you train intuition by doing lots of questions and noticing the hidden structure. By doing questions, over time patterns start to show up on, for example, how you answer certain types of questions, and you can train your logic and deductive reasoning. Hard questions don't often test harder content. The answer is just hidden behind layers of logic and reasoning, which the exam rewards. And lucky for you, oftentimes the logic is the same. Exams have lasted since the beginning of time, alright? They're bound to test you on similar logic or material. Think of it as 2 steps. Step 1 is knowing the knowledge, and step 2 is knowing what to do. And you train step 2 by doing more questions. Number 3, this is how you learn languages. You know that one guy that speaks 10 billion languages and picks up languages really quickly? Here's the secret. Active versus passive vocabulary. Active vocab is the words that you actually say. This is what you use in natural conversation. It's the kind of vocab off the top of your head that you might use in a speaking exam. And to train it, you just gotta speak more. You get better at what you practice, you know what I mean? The more you practice, the better you get at speaking. I know what you're thinking, I don't have any friends to speak to though. Don't worry, introverted viewer, you can just speak to a wall. If you're preparing for a speaking exam, literally make a conversation in your target language, preferably out loud. And if you think about it, speaking is the best way to practice language in general. It's like harder writing in the sense that you come up with ideas and you're practicing common phrases that you find in natural speech, so it helps with listening and reading. On the other hand, passive vocab is the words you understand but don't use. It's the kind of wacky word that you can figure out what it means when you hear it or read it, but there's no way you're actually using it in speech. To train this, immerse yourself in the language. The more exposure, the better. Think about when you were a baby, alright? You didn't sit there with baby flashcards going goo goo equals milk, alright? Baby you learned through exposure and pattern recognition. The thing is, it's so easy to get exposure with the internet now. Instead of scrolling brain rot, go scroll Italian brain rot. If you're going to school or doing some task that doesn't need much focus, you can just pop in an earbud and listen to your target language. Think about it. Your brain is literally built to absorb patterns. The more you expose yourself, the more you learn without trying. Flashcards aren't bad, you're just using them wrong. Use them for exam phrases, not for every piece of vocab you see. Anyway, here's the fourth tip: how to consume knowledge fast. You know that movie clip of that one guy that consumed knowledge really quickly to pass the bar exam? I'm not saying that you gotta do that, but I'm willing to bet that around half the people watching right now have got an exam soon. So this is for you. Like, let me show you. This is my history folder. I gotta learn all of this for my exam. I'm not even done with all the content yet. Here's what I found was the best way to learn all of it. Step 1 is to make a summary sheet. All you need to do is put on some music if that's your thing, read all of your notes, and pull out the important stuff, the stuff you'll actually be testing on. Think of it like compressing a giant suitcase into those vacuum sealed bags. You're squeezing all of the air out, all of the useless fluff, until the essentials remain. And the best thing is, when you write in your own words, you're subconsciously absorbing the information. And you can use the summary sheet later as well. It's like a win-win-win situation, you get me? Step 2 is to go use AI. AI turns your summary sheet into questions, and questions are the best way to learn anything. Because questions force your brain to retrieve information. And the good thing is, unlike doing questions from the get-go, you actually somewhat know the content now. Think of it like this: your summary sheet is the personal trainer, the questions are the reps, and the brain is the muscle. You reinforce the knowledge that is collected by doing more reps, which flows perfectly into my final tip. Number 5, practice. I'm gonna be honest, this is the least niche tip in the video, but I promise you it is going to give you the most results. The thing is, we don't study for learning, we study for exams. So the best tip I can give you is to study the exam. When you practice, you actively use your knowledge instead of passively learning it. And using your knowledge is the best way to learn, because you must fully understand the content before being able to utilize it. And this is the key to not even needing to revise before the exam. They test the same material every year, but they just phrase it differently or add a twist. That's all they can do. And when you get a grasp of these variations, it's like sitting the same exam. It doesn't become scary anymore. For essay subjects, you gotta practice time management. Usually, the night before an essay subject exam, I just do it past paper without any distractions, and all I get is a clock and some water, because that's what the real thing is gonna be like. And this is the secret that no one tells you to becoming a top student. The smartest person in your class is always calm before an exam, because they simply done more reps. So yeah, these are my 5 tips, and the common denominator between all of them is consistency and practice. The best thing you can do is do a bit every day, so that you won't be stressed at the time of the exam. If these tips helped you, I would really appreciate a sub. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your exams.